Isn't that funny how, like, when you do a FaceTime with somebody, you inevitably are looking and talking to your camera back to you versus looking the person dead in the eyes?
I think during the pandemic, the amount of time I would see myself talk exhausted me. And I realized that a lot of the reason I felt tired at the end of the day is because I felt like performing.
You had to see yourself so much, and after a while, you're like, God, I've been on.
Exactly. Well, now that I'm back in a writer's room in person, I have a resting bitch face sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like off. I'm just like, I'm not fully, I'm not like yes anding always. I'm like, I'm needing a little break to disassociate, and I don't really care what my face looks like. But in the Zoom, I'd be like,
Yeah, you're like working out muscles a little extra hard, and they have fatigue at the end of the day.
Just utter fatigue.
Do you now have to be concerned that your resting bitch face gives a writer currently trying to break a story in front of you the wrong intention?
Okay, I don't think I have a resting bitch face. I think I have a resting, is she not here face? Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, I don't think my face is like, I'm judging you. I think my face is like, is she gone?
You have a resting face that says that my soul has leapt out of the vessel.
Yeah.
And is on an ethereal journey.
Yeah, I'm not even here right now.
That feels very nice. Thank you for leaving your vessel with me.
So instead of like other writers being like, oh, she hates my idea, it's, oh, this bitch ain't listening, which I don't know what's worse,
Yeah, to hate something at least says you're invested in it.
Absolutely.
So it might be worse.
Yeah, I think it might be a little worse. But like, I know that a lot of our audience doesn't watch, but I'm going to do my face when I'm not paying attention, and it's this.
Oh, she gone.
She gone.
She gone.
There's nothing behind those eyes.
Kris and Joanna are close friends with nothing in common. To start a weekly conversation, they ask, "Can I have a word?"
Hey, speaking of fans that listen to us, a couple weeks ago, you shared an Instagram that somebody said that was happy to hear us doing a podcast, but they referenced us in a way that I wasn't used to hearing someone reference us, which is they said it was like having mommy and daddy back.
Wait, was there a Y at the end of both of it? Mommy and daddy, or was it mom and dad?
Mom and dad.
Because that's very different.
But it was like, I'm used to hearing people who might hate each other or people who are like sibling. I've never heard of like a parental thing.
Yeah, I haven't heard a parental thing, but you have to remember that a lot of the people that watched us at the beginning of our career were like 15. Mm-hmm. And even though we were only 10 years older than them, when you're 15, anyone that's out of college is geriatric.
You might as well be carrying my walker.
There's actors that I watched as a kid, and like even singers like Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears that were not that much older than me when I think about it. Mm-hmm. But the formation of my brain, having them be even 7 years older, now they're just like so much more adult than me that they're like grown-ups. Even though they're like 42 and I'm 35, I'm like, no, they're way older.
You have them locked in as like a case in point where they were this like level above me at a time age-wise, and now they're just permanently there, despite the fact that as we get older, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like, oh my God, they're so much older and wiser. They're 42. But now I work with a 70-year-old man in my writer's room, and I think he's 70. I think he might be younger. Whatever. Sorry.
You put him on blast, but you didn't say his name, so there
sorry, M. And I'm like, oh, we're like the same. He's 70. I'm 35, whatever. But like Adam Brody, when he was in the OC, he was older than me. And so he is forever older. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, do understand entirely what you mean from like high school dynamics of like, oh, they're a senior.
I just saw a teacher of mine from high school, and I'm going to make up their last name because I'm sure, I don't know if they want to be put on blast.
Yeah, sure.
But I was like, oh my gosh, Mr. Table. Okay, I was looking at a table. That's the first thing
God damn it.
I was like, Mr. Table. And he was like, please call me Sam. My name isn't Mr. Table. And I'm like, that is atrocious. And he was like, I was only 24 when I was your teacher. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
And you know when a camera zooms in onto a character, but they do the pull focus so that the background like changes perception? That's how I felt.
Shot.
The vertigo shot. I was like, oh my God, you were 24 when you were my freaking teacher grading my papers.
You immediately started thinking about, at 24, I didn't know fucking shit.
Fucking shit. I was an idiot.
An absolute moron. And I could have been in the role advising a young you.
I actually can't even believe that. I've been rewatching Friends and How I Met Your Mother. And I remember watching that thinking, oh, this is adults. These are adults. I'm older than them now. And now I'm like, wait, I'm seeing this in a completely different context. Like, I actually don't know how to feel about any of it.
I love that we haven't recorded this show in 3 weeks. We took a impromptu hiatus, and we came back, and we're still talking about how old we feel.
No. Here's the thing. I do that with you. I feel like I'm always thinking about how young I am.
This is not only with me, it's with many, I wouldn't say many people listening. This is Can I Have a Word? It's a show where Joanna and I just have a conversation based on a random word that we pull from a random word generator. I don't look at it until she says a certain prompt, but...
Can I have a word?
I feel like you were channeling Mariah Carey this time.
I actually was channeling that lady that sings that really sad song they play on those pet commercials where the animal...
In the arms of an angel.
That one.
The word is hover.
Okay, well, my brain went to one thing immediately, which is not very intellectual or interesting or deep or meaningful. I find it atrocious that women have to hover on top of a toilet when they pee in a public restroom. And I want to say this right now in front of the world. I think every woman should sit on the fucking seat. Whatever's on your thigh, I don't care. But if you hover and you put your urine everywhere on the seat and I can't sit afterwards, then that creates like a domino effect of hovering. And hovering is horrific. And no.
So I probably could use, I want to get a clear sense of when you feel compelled to hover. If it's a dirty seat or just any seat you don't.
When it's like a restaurant that like it looks like it's been cleaned and there's nothing on the seat, great. If it's a woman's restroom and I see that the seat is clean, great. If it is a unisex bathroom, I immediately hover because I know that men are awful.
Dudes be spraying.
I don't care. Okay. For ideological reasons, I'm obviously like, whatever. I don't care about bathrooms. Use whatever bathroom you want. But the problem with unisex bathrooms is solely because of men not being able to piss in a freaking toilet and then me not being able to sit on said toilet and having to hover. I think bathrooms are an example of how unequal we are as a society.
Yes.
The gender gap is huge in many places, but I don't think it's okay, this is a stretch, but one of the places that's the biggest is the bathrooms.
I consider myself a considerate person. I like to think about how I leave a space and how I enter a space. So if I need to pee in a bathroom that is not a urinal, it's old-fashioned stall, I lift the seat up so that I can pee, and then I put the seat back down. And so often people don't do that.
They don't do that.
I don't like the idea, even from the start, that I'm making the target harder to hit. I'm probably drunk when I'm here, or preoccupied at a minimum. Why do I want a target that is so much smaller?
Thank you for being the way that you are. I wish more men were like this.
You mean a hero?
A hero. You're literally a hero for
so
lifting the seat up and down. There's this book, I don't remember what it's called. I think it's called The Invisible something. Whatever. I'm so great at remembering book names. But architecturally, the amount of space a man's bathroom takes and a woman's bathroom are usually equal. And that's been that way for many, many decades. Mm-hmm. That's insane.
It's absolutely nuts.
Women's bathrooms need to be bigger just because there's literally no way for us to do number one in a quick and efficient way. So we need more space because we need more stalls. Every time I see a line for a women's restroom that like wraps around the building and then you see like men walking in and out, I'm like, my feminine rage literally surges out of me because I'm like, what fucktard was like, I actually no, you I don't want to fix this. I don't want to think about women's problems.
We want to do 3 pipes per room, call it a day.
3 pipes per room?
Yeah, like you get the 2 toilets and 1 sink.
Oh,
you know why I was thinking that small though is because I was thinking about my first reaction to that how the spaces need to be different is anytime you go to a Broadway show.
Oh my God.
The intermission at a Broadway show is always the women's line is the length and the perimeter of the theater and the men's is a breeze.
Yeah.
It's because both of them only have 2 stalls.
That is an example of invisible sexism, I can guarantee that I've spent a year of my life waiting for a bathroom.
Yeah, you've added it up.
That's a year gone. That's a year gone. What? That's why women live longer, because we waste more time on shit.
That's a fun theory.
Yeah.
That's a thesis you should put in a master's program.
Thank you so much.
It's not that we don't do bathroom innovations. There's all kinds of design being done in bathrooms all the time. For example, do you know about the PB?
Oh, God, I'm so scared.
Do you know about the PB?
No, what is that?
Okay, so speaking of inconsiderate men, some urinals now have a PB, which is just a little B at the spot, like where they want you to instinctually pee.
Okay. Why is it a B? What
I don't know why.
Is there like a masculine urge to urinate on a pollinating insect?
I don't know. I just know it's a PB. I like to think it's the alliteration, but
PB.
But it is a little bumblebee that sits in like a little spot. That spot is mathematically where if you hit, the spray won't get the thing gross, like the back spray.
I think this is the funniest thing I've ever heard.
And so like they put them in there subconsciously so that people will pee on the beat. And that took intelligent human beings thinking about how to solve a problem.
In a way, for really unintelligent human beings.
Yes,
like, I want to
yes.
pee on that beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Men will piss in a trough and they'll be fine. Mm-hmm. But like somebody was just like, well, but what if it's getting on their pants a little? They can't possibly adjust their aim. We got to make sure that they pee on a cartoon bee.
Iconic. Okay.
I'm bringing that up to suggest that it's not that we're not thinking about bathroom problems and how to solve them. So it is crazy to me to consider that like women's bathrooms aren't thought of as needing a bigger footprint than men's right out of the jump.
No, I think that a lot of women's issues haven't been thought about, not out of malice, but out of ignorance.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think these architects were like, oh, we really want to fuck over women. Like, not at all. They just didn't think about these things.
Yes.
And I think a lot of these inequities come from ignorance, not malice.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of hovering in bathrooms, what are your thoughts and opinions on a bathroom attendant?
Oh, they actually hover around you while you're washing your hands.
They linger while you wash your hands, and then they ask for a little bit of money.
There is not one bathroom attendant I have not tipped. One time I gave a bathroom attendant $100.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take a guess where you were. You were at a strip club?
No. Wait, there's bathroom attendants at strip clubs?
Oh, all the time at strip clubs. That's the only time I really see bathroom attendants.
Why is there a correlation between...
So that nobody's fucking in the bathroom.
Oh, they're literally attendants. They have to attend.
They are hall monitoring the activities taking place in a bathroom.
Shut up.
And then there's also like little like gums and mints and things for sale.
I love that you were at a strip club.
Well, no, it wasn't necessarily. I just was like, when are you going to blow $100 haphazardly? You'd have to be a little tipsy. The way you were tipsy was that you were out at a strip club when these things lined up.
Can I do a parenthesis story?
Yes,
which
please.
is the last time I was at a strip club, I accompanied my cousins who were visiting New York, and I went to the strip club in New York because, you know, what else? I mean, they wanted to go, and I didn't want to be left out. So I went, and when I went to the women's restroom, it was all of the strippers changing.
It was also the changing room?
Yes. So I went in there. I was the only like woman that was at the strip club as like a guest or whatever. And all these women were like changing and talking to each other and on their phones. And I'm like, okay, well, the mystique for me is gone.
We've broken the mystique. Absolutely.
But anyway, I was at, it was after a holiday party that I went to for my then boyfriend's company. Mm-hmm. And they gave us these gift cards. They had just been acquired by a Chinese company. And they just gave us $150 gift cards. And it was like right before Christmas. It was like the 23rd of December or something like that. We went to the second bar and there was this bathroom attendant from Central America. While I was at the stall, this woman was like berating her. Mm. And then I went out and I like consoled her. And then I just like gave her the gift card.
Where was the gift card to?
The gift card was just a cash gift card. It was
like one of those Visa prepaid ones. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it could be used in a variety of ways.
Yeah. And then I was like, am I Santa?
Yes. After doing something nice and for someone else, not for your own, you needed to make sure you got a little bit back at the end.
I'm a little Jewish Santa. I mean, a woman can do a man's job.
I like to think that you're now thinking of when we can end scenes in the edit.
Oh my God, I do.
little
I actually do
lights.
think about that. But no, wait, I'm not done because I want to
Yes.
say that the hovering that bathroom attendants do, I never give a tip because I'm like, wow, that was helpful and useful for me.
It's always out of obligation.
It's just, I'm like, I actually don't know what to do with myself right now. I feel terrible that you have to sit here in this restroom for hours and like, I can't do this.
It's an occupation of generating guilt. You can't have somebody there whose job is just to listen to people excrete.
I can't.
Often attendants are at nice places, or as I've described, trashy places, but nevertheless, places where you show up a certain way. And when you go to the bathroom, you allow yourself a moment's reprieve from being experienced that way. And that attendant sees, hears, smells all.
Everything. You know what I do like about bathroom attendants? They have a lot of pride in the sense that they always have like a little mint. They have
Yes.
a hairspray. They come prepared. They don't
Yeah.
just roll into work. They come prepared and they set the fuck up.
They are absolutely like the wingman for a lot of people in there, where it's just like, yo, I got you. What do you need? You need a smoke? You need a mint?
yeah.
You need some gum? You need a little cologne? Do a little dab?
They must hear some shit other than shit. They must hear some shit. They must hear some crazy
Absolutely.
stuff.
And if you're like a person who's like trying to get away with something, you just make nice so that they ignore.
Yeah.
What a weird job.
What a weird job.
Not a job I could ever see myself doing well at.
No offense, but you would make yourself too present.
That's exactly right. I want to have too much of an engaged conversation, and there's a real skill behind saying that, like, I am friendly, but
You
I
wouldn't
am...
hover. You wouldn't hover. You would crash land every time.
All right.
You'd be like, it's Kris.
I was also going to say I'm just uncomfortable in bathrooms regularly anyway.
That's true. You are uncomfortable. You don't
I'm
like
very
bathroom
uncomfortable.
life.
I don't like bathroom life. Even at home, I don't leave the door open ever. I don't let noises come out. I like to keep the idea that I shut that door and I'm off to a portal dimension.
You're a Ken doll.
I am a Ken doll. It's all just smooth down there.
Hover.
You know what I thought about when I heard hover right away? Because we were talking about being old. I was thinking about hover rounds. Do you know
What?
what?
The
Hover
fuck?
round is like a brand of one of those like motorized chairs.
Oh, the motorized chair.
Yeah, but when I was a kid, the hover round was a brand. There was also like the Rascal, which I always thought was for the ones that thought they were getting away with shit. The hover round though had a commercial that always involved this older woman going to the Grand Canyon, and it's like, ma'am, how did you get there to the Grand Canyon? And she goes, in my hover round, hover round, hover round. It like echoes throughout Grand Canyon. And I'm like, man, I can't wait to get old enough to just get a personal go-kart all day. I don't see those really anymore.
Have you ever been to Disney World, Kris?
No, actually.
I was shocked. There were normal young people using these devices. I think America, specifically California and Florida, which are the states where it's very much highway and car culture, very little public transportation, therefore very little walking. Like the concept of walking being part of your everyday life, I think is very minimal. But Disney World and Land are places where people who perhaps are not accustomed to walking are made to and forced to walk for the whole day. The rentals of these things are incredibly important and big. Some of them for people that need it.
Yes.
Some of them for people that, are in pain. And then a lot of them are for people that are just being fucking lazy.
I have to imagine this is starting to get abused the way that like emotional support animal has been abused.
Oh my gosh. You're
You know,
right.
Where it's like 10% of applicants actually need this for its purpose.
Yeah.
And then the 90% are being fucking assholes.
They're being assholes.
That's imperfect math. That's from the hip math, folks. That's not, I didn't look into this
What
up.
we perceive it as.
I can see a world in today's America where someone says, fuck that person who has a legitimate disability. My dogs are barking and I want the chair.
My dog will be barking. My dog will be barking.
That is, as much as you interpret me as a folksy person, that is not a phrase that I would say regularly.
Dog be barking is that my legs hurt?
Your dogs are the feet in that one.
Can you explain that to me? Why are feet dogs?
Because they be barking.
Oh.
Feet, when they hurt, they are like letting you know it's been too much today. I'm like, man, these dogs be barking.
I'm so glad you explained that to me with such
know.
great depth.
You weren't going to interpret it by yourself.
Okay, I have another thing that came up into my head other than peeing. said hover.
Good.
I'm interested as to why so much of, oh my God, I'm like lifting my shirt up as if
I'm so interested why people linger around waiting for sexual attention.
Why am I lifting my, I forgot I was on camera. I needed to like, whatever. My bra is really uncomfortable today. Anyway.
Listen, it's a podcast. We're familiar. You can just take that thing off and freewheel them.
No, I like adjusted. It's all good.
I don't think we see your boobs in frame.
No, they aren't. But like, who knows?
Who knows? There could be a fire, and then I have to go outside.
Well, you don't know. That's
don't
the
know.
thing. Okay, wait. Okay, hovering.
Hovering.
Okay, hovering is a verb that I think we read and see a lot in like science fiction. Like the idea of the future having a lot of things that hover.
Yeah.
Hovercrafts, like a hover skateboard. Hovering was like synonymous with progress and technological advancements. And we're in 2024 and people are getting like potentially chips implanted into their brains, and there are zero crafts that hover.
I feel like the 90s were big for hovercraft, which is the like big vessel that can transport across land and sea, but it's a big airbag that you're floating on. It's not like the hovering we're talking about. And you're right. I don't think I have seen much of anything that does it anymore. We got really into vehicles that balance themselves out well. We've got Segways and now those bikes that are just one big wheel that you ride on.
Oh, the one wheel.
Is that what they're called? Just a one wheel?
Bikes or skateboards?
Whatever the fuck they are.
It's a
ugly.
skateboard, Chris.
Well, anyway, they are reserved exclusively for the community of douches. They're not like what regular people use ever.
Well, we have a mutual friend that uses a one wheel. I'll make sure to tell Danny Vega.
I thought
that
about it
he's-
as I said it. I was considering it.
25% of his personality is the one wheel.
We don't have hovering things. I wonder if we like threw that out. My first notion of that is like Jetsons. Jetsons also had like the airport walkways, but in everyone's life where you just stood and a treadmill took you exactly where you needed to go.
Oh yeah, well, isn't that a what's it called? What they have in the airports?
Yeah, like the little like the wascalators, or not the wascalator. That's a fun name if it was real.
The
but it's not real.
wascalators.
I was thinking like a walking escalator.
The wascalators.
What people are really catching on to now is that in a pitch meeting, I would always be the one giving the bad ideas.
Wascalators. You know that the Jetsons was set in 2062?
That's too far. At this point, not obtainable. We might be in... Well, also the Jetsons, the unspoken thing about the Jetsons is that they've polluted their Earth so much that they had to live above the smog.
I mean, that sounds pretty accurate.
So that part seems like it could happen. Yeah, all right. So do you feel like we need a revival of hovering technology?
I do. I think we have a lot of technology we didn't ask for. Like, I didn't ask for AI. I asked for a skateboard that lifts from the ground. Like
Michael J. Fox asked for that skateboard, exactly.
He did. I think that hovering is something I would have seen more in my adult life, and I just don't. I see it in the not literal sense. We speak about hovering parents. I use hovering as like something that is sort of encroaching on my space, or like
It's become a threat, not a magic.
it's become hovering has become a threat and not a magic.
There was a time where I was like, oh, I hope I can fly one day. I would settle for hovering.
Yeah.
And now you say you're hovering, and it's like, well, you need to learn how to give your kids some independence.
It's
Chris?
a word. It's a word. Okay. It's a word that had a much more fun, immediate meaning. Mm-hmm. And with time, what are other words that like in the past were fun?
Man, I don't think I was ready to start spitballing other words.
I know it's late.
But also, our show is around like sticking to one.
I know you're right. Am I kind of ruining our vibe?
No. It's important that at a certain... This is like a point in a show when the network's not watching anymore. Now they're like, now we can be the show we want. We're just
that's
making up
true.
more words.
And we are the network.
Yeah, we are the network. Words that used to be...
More fun. How about Musk?
Musk? Well, Elon Musk ruined it. But
Yeah, exactly.
But didn't... Okay. Did you ever, as a kid... I'm sure you heard people like wearing Musk, which was like a brand of like
Yeah.
cologne.
Like a
Did you
strong-
ever think it smelled good?
I like the smell of musk.
Really?
It's like this earthy, sandalwoody, it smells like a book in a library where there's mahogany, earthy tobacco. That's what I think of with musk, and I do like that smell.
Whoever in my family was wearing it must have been buying it at like a clearance Kohl's or something, because I always thought it stunk like hell.
Really?
Even as a kid, it felt antiquated to be like, I'm wearing Musk.
But musk isn't just a brand. Musk is the concept of a smell, right?
Yeah, but I think there was a time where if you asked somebody what their smell was, they would just label it as musk. And yes, Elon ruined that now.
How about helicopter?
Helicopter did feel like a future tech for a long time.
And now it's like it's had a lot of accidents, and then also helicopter parents.
Yes. Yeah, it once again got turned into a meme thing. Have you ever ridden a Blade?
Is that a what?
It's Uber for helicopters?
Absolutely not. Who do
Really?
you think I am? What have I ridden a Blade?
Joanna,
have I ridden a helicopter?
You have a level of success that I do not. I think you might have been offered to ride a Blade once.
Bro, I love that you see me in this light, and let that never change for you.
But they're like they're Uber helicopters. They pick you up and then they take you to like Atlantic City or something.
I think that people in Latin America have more access to helicopters because I have a lot of friends in Latin America that just are like, yeah, let's just grab the helicopter. And I'm like, what?
That's
Who has
insane
a helicopter?
to even say that statement. Let's grab the helicopter.
I went to Guatemala with my Guatemalan friend, and she was like in a bad mood. And I was like, what's going on? And she's like, oh, my dad won't lend us the helicopter today. We're going to have to be stuck in traffic. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I'll drive. Like, it's fine. And she's like, no. You don't understand how bad this traffic will be. We got to take the helicopter. And I'm like, we really don't. I'd rather not. I'm scared.
I know. Oh, this is what was promised to us. A flying car.
Yeah.
The flying car was promised to us. That'll be the future. Is that you'll be able to get into your road, then you take off and you can get wherever you need to go much faster. And
I don't trust it.
I would never trust it. Never. Now I'm logical.
I would only trust a flying car if it was a self-driving flying car. I do not trust human beings on a road where they are on the ground, less so in the air where they can like cause bigger
Okay,
problems.
I understand that from an intellectual standpoint. You could be like, I trust the technology. But would you get into like an automated car that's like no driver?
I have gotten into an automated car that's no
What,
driver.
really? The ones that you're not even behind the wheel?
Yeah, no, that you just go in and there's no one there and they drive you.
And you weren't nervous at all?
I was a little bit, like, it didn't go to the highway. It was just around here in Santa Monica. So I don't know if I'd go highway yet, but around here I felt safe. I'm a woman, Kris. I felt safer with no one in the car than with random stranger in the car. I was
You're
like,
just
okay.
like, you could drive me into a lake. It's not the worst thing that's happened to me in a backseat.
Actually not.
I haven't done the driverless thing yet. I bet I would be fine with it. I don't find it all that nerve-wracking. I think I would be more concerned about flying being automated. But that's just lack of exposure to it. I'm sure
It's
I would
lack
get
of
used to it.
exposure, just like how speaking of bathroom attendants and all this stuff, elevators had attendants that were human beings that were in charge of, moving the actual sort of box up and down the shaft.
Yeah, there'd be an elevator operator who'd have like a crank that would go like up or down, and that you would tell them where you go and it'd get you there.
And then, that job is outdated now. But people were so nervous to get into this like small room that closed. And that's why elevator music was invented, because people were so nervous that they needed calming music to make them feel less alone and less entrapped.
Interesting.
So like what you feel people felt with elevators.
I have heard the elevator story. I'd never heard it as elevator music being the symptom. I had always heard that the introduction of an emergency stop button was what made it feel comfortable.
I think it's a mix of emergency.
That people would protest buildings that had automated elevators until they came up with the e-stop button, and then people felt in control again.
It's so interesting how human beings feel like if they themselves are in control, they feel more safe. But self-driving cars will end up being significantly more safe than humans because human error accounts for literally almost every accident except for like deer.
It's like it's always just about speaking to ego, right? That like I could not be the most capable driver in the world, but like I am a person that feels comfortable driving a car, and like being a passenger with someone that I normally drive I do a little bit of backseat driving sometimes because I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure? It doesn't mean I'm the greatest driver, but in my head I'm like, well, I need to be the one driving.
So you hover over people that are driving.
I try not to. I'm conscious of it.
Okay.
It's not a thing that I don't see in myself.
Well, I had a car accident recently.
Yeah, you did. You sent me photos immediately.
My car was completely totaled. It was a really severe accident. Not my fault at all. Just want to preface.
Just in case an attorney is hearing this later on, this is not evidence that you can accrue about me. I'm not admitting to anything.
Was according to the police and the insurance claim, it was not my fault. I was not at fault. It was the person that hit me at like 70 miles per hour. Ever since then, I've become the worst passenger.
Oh, yeah, because now you're on edge all the time.
We'll be a block away from a car.
Yeah.
And I'll tell whoever's driving, like, stop, gotta stop the car. Car's coming. And they're like, dude, what the fuck? My mom told me that I had to shut up and move to the back seat last time she drove. She was like, you're insufferable. But I'm like growing out of it.
It's a moment in time that came out of a legitimate experience, and also because you could probably do it better than them.
Yeah, absolutely. I know how to stop.
How soon after the accident did you text me the photo? It felt like you were roadside when you got into the accident, and then you texted me.
Yeah, but like I think it's because you texted me, right? You texted me.
I may have happened to have like stumbled onto texting you, but I did like the idea that you didn't put your phone aside during an actual moment that you need to be handling something.
I think it was the moment of. It was like right after.
I feel so privileged.
I mean, I sent it to a lot of people, but sure.
You did. You know what? That shit's true. You sent me the photo, and then 10 seconds later, it was on your Instagram stories. I was like, I guess I'm not so fucking special.
I'm an open book.
Yeah.
I cannot keep something about myself to myself. I can't do it. I literally physically cannot do it.
I don't feel like I have any like weight in your life as like a person that holds secrets for you. I do feel like I hold a little bit of rank in your life because before you put it on Instagram, sometimes you audition it with me.
I do. I mean, yeah, like you're in my first like round of friends for sure. Yes. Where I'm like, hey, by the way, this like traumatic thing happened to me. Okay, now I can tell the world.
When we worked together, it was you would audition tweets on me.
I remember that.
I'd be sitting in my office, and there would be a chair in the office that you could just come plop in and dick around and waste my time. And one of the ways that you would do that is by just like reading out tweet drafts to see if we could punch one up before you put it published.
Yeah, thank you so much. You've been my ghostwriter. Ghostwriter.
Yes, ghostwriter who would hover.
Ghostwriter who is writing on a hovercraft, who hovers both metaphorically and literally. I can't. I tried, bro.
Yeah, try.
It's late.
Interior office ghost day. Stupid.
So dumb.
The joke's for 4 people.
Not including me.
You've said hover parenting enough. It's made me question whether I'm a hovering parent.
I don't think so. I think you're a regular parent.
What does regular mean to you?
Like hovering.
Okay, yeah. Like, you do it the right amount.
If parents don't hover, that baby be dead.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I think I have a 2.5-year-old now, and I try very hard to make sure that she learns her own things so that I don't have to keep saying the same goddamn thing every day. It's like I taught her quickly enough that the oven is not safe. Don't go to the oven. And it was only like 3 weeks ago into the oven every day. And then she stopped.
Okay, good for her.
But that's out of laziness. And I think hover parent, I think of like misaligned adult who's just trying to do best for their kids. I'm like, is it better to celebrate me? Because I'm just like, I kind of just like want her to chill the hell out for 15 minutes without me.
No, I think that's normal.
Is that normal too? You say normal a lot.
I just want to affirm that everything you're doing is okay.
Thanks.
Because I don't think you need any more stress in your life.
No, I don't need any more. None of us need fucking stress.
I think that's something that I've learned recently. Like, unless I'm actually concerned about my friend, which I have a few friends and I'm very concerned about their life decisions. But generally, the ones that are doing well, I'm like, you're fine. Because I think you're doing enough of self-doubting yourself. You don't need anyone.
I mean, that's interesting to think about, like, your friendships of like, do you feel like you're always helping someone in your life? I
think I tend to help. I feel good about myself and what I have to offer people when I'm like, I am of use. Like, I'm helping you with your job application. No, I'm helping you with this. I'm helping you with that. When it's just me without like a reason, I'm like, is that enough for you?
Yeah.
Is this enough for you? Are you sure?
Did you want me or what I offer?
Both kind of bad, but if you get both at the same time, valuable.
Right.
You know?
Right. I do sometimes find myself in the role of like being the person somebody comes to when they need something. And what that turns into is sometimes being like, is everyone all right now? Do I need to check in on things? It's kind of like hosting a party, but the party is everyone's mental health.
Yeah, you're that a lot. I think that people don't, like, I do that. I help certain people, but I'd say most people are just here for the vibes. I feel like you end up being like a dad.
Yeah, I am dad. I've been dad for a long time.
But I also feel comfortable having you be dad because I'm like, oh, it seems like he enjoys it, which is probably not true. But
well, you similar to what you were sort of saying, where it's like it feels nice to be that person for someone. There's like a sense of like validation of like, oh, I'm like trusted and depended on. But I have several friends where it's like I have been important people in their lives during difficult times, and now that it's not difficult, they don't know how to like just fuck around again.
Oh,
it's like, oh, you know the dark part. We can only talk about the dark part now, I guess. And I was like, no, I can send you screenshots of a video game where I made a character have like pants on his head. It's fine.
Yeah. That shifting of gears.
Yeah, you have to be able to like get it back, and that is what's difficult being dad.
Well, remember when that person wrote to us saying that he loved mom and dad? He thought we were both mom and dad.
Yes.
Well, you're killing it with the dad part.
Thank you. Do you think you can kill it as here? Let's audition this. Let's talk to that listener right now. Mm-hmm. And if it's anything like when I talk to my daughter, it means that you have to speak in third person. So I want to have a conversation right now where we're talking to them about something they're going through. Let's say they're having a breakup, but we only refer to ourselves as mommy and daddy.
Okay. I hate this already. Let's do it.
Great. Hey, hello, son.
Okay, wait, we're calling him son? Can we give him a name? I forgot his name.
Greg?
Let's call him Greg for sure.
Greg,
yeah.
Okay. Hey, Greg, I'm sorry to hear that you're having a difficult breakup right now. But mommy wanted to tell you some important things. Mommy, can you tell her?
Hey, Greg. Thanks, Daddy, for giving me the mic. So mommy here, hollering at ya. Yeah, life is hard sometimes, and sometimes it don't be fun. But you gotta hold on for dear life, and then the storm passes, and then it'll be a little fun time again.
Yeah, mommy says that a lot.
Oh my God, I can't even. That was, I don't know why. But you know what? Wait, Kris, parenthesis. I'd say parenthesis a lot because of the ADHD.
We all know.
In Spanish, it's way more prevalent to call your mom mommy and your dad papi. Mami, papi. I don't say mama y papa. I say mami, papi. But in English, I would never say mommy and daddy.
We did not get a choice. Our daughter just suddenly picked mommy and daddy.
I mean, she's 2.5. Give her a fucking break, Kris.
I know. I'm aware. I'm not blaming her, but I am saying our first choice would have been mom and dad.
Wait, really? No, but she's so little. It's so
Well,
cute.
I know that she's so little, but then you have this constant like thing where it's like she's crying because the grocery store robot wasn't out right now. And it's like, well, maybe next time when you're here with mommy. It's like
you have to say it.
I have to say it all the time. I have to call myself daddy 18 times a day at a minimum.
That's horrendous, actually, now that I think about it.
Awful.
Yeah, because her saying it is fine. You saying it is grating.
And also, there's no world where that could ever be interpreted as sexy to me anymore. It's gone.
No, it is R.I.P.
Not that it was there, but it's not there now.
Now you're daddy for the rest of your life for her. Like, that's it. That's it.
At least until they get into double-digit age.
Yeah, and then she might go like dad or da.
Or have a rebellious face and say Kris.
That'd be so funny. I honestly would love that for you.
Yeah, I would love it.
I played a game once with my nephews and nieces. Once. One time in my entire life, I played this game where when they said, "You're pretty," I'd smile. And then when they said, "You're poopy," I'd start fake crying. Okay. Bro, that was 8 years ago.
Uh-huh.
My name is Aunt Poopy. My name for these children. And when they're like deep into adulthood, they're not going to be like, "Oh, Aunt Joanna." They're going to be like, "Is Aunt Poopy doing okay?" That's my fucking name now. Because of one game, one afternoon that I was desperate to get them to just like chill.
Play some equivalent of red light, green light, where it's just about smiling. They say poopy, they laugh. It's forever seared into their memories.
Aunt Poopy.
I'm very sorry for your loss.
I tried to change it. I was like, Aunt Joanna. They're like, no, I'm poopy. I'm poopy. No. Now they're like 11 and they're like, hey, I'm poopy. Hey, question. Like,
yeah. And now they're going to know that Aunt Poopy hovers the toilet.
Now they're going to know. It all comes back around, baby.
It's a good chat, Joanna. I'll talk to you
Great
later.
chatting with you, Kris.